Ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've all been waiting for is now here.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Get him, Bobby.
Now rocking with
DZ the Incredible.
You've got it locked into Live and Direct with yours truly, DZ the Incredible. Thank you for tuning in. And as you know, here on Live and Direct, we bring to you the who's who in art, culture, music, and entertainment. And my special guest today needs no introduction because her face is a well-known face. And if you don't know her face, I don't think you have things like Facebook and Instagram and all that good stuff. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Top. What's going on?
That's when the crowd goes wild. Thanks for having me. I'm really excited.
Yeah, so it's been a while. I don't see you much anymore like that, but I do remember in those earlier days, like back in like 2009, 2010, when I first met you on the studio on the Hill.
Yes. The Hill.
Yeah, that was before it was like Top and it was just like Tracy Ann.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so it's been a minute, but it's good to see you again. Now, speaking of, let's just roll it back a few years.
Okay.
Little Top.
Little Top?
Yeah, Little Top, Little Tracy.
Okay.
Like, what were her aspirations growing up? Like, I know that every little girl, or at least they say that every little girl wants to be a princess when she grows up. What were like your goals and aspirations as a little girl?
To be quite honest, like, I'm one of those persons, I'm really blessed. I've always had like the same goals, same aspirations. Like, since I came out of my mother's vagina, I knew that I wanted to be in entertainment. I knew that I love talking, I love connecting with people, I love acting, I love music, I love all these things. So honestly, like, from then I was like, okay, I'm gonna be on TV. And, practicing my Emmy acceptance speech and pretending to be Sidney Poitier and like all these stuff, like I knew I wanted those things. So Little Top wanted the same things that Big Top was still. So yeah, I've always been very focused, and like once I put my mind to something and I say I'm gonna get it, I'm gonna get it, or if I don't get it, I'm gonna die trying. So yeah, same things.
So do you remember when you first started to like venture into what it was that you wanted to do? Because you named off a good list of stuff.
Yeah.
So do you remember when you first like ventured into it?
Well, the thing is, like I said, being so young and always knew what I wanted to be, I was involved in stuff like, everyone like, church choir, school drama club, and, I took those things very seriously. And when I first started, for a lot of people don't know, you would probably know, if you know me from the Hill, if you know me from the Hill, then you know that I actually started doing music.
Right.
Like, anybody who knows me, like, from the industry, like, that kind of inner circle knows that, like, I used to be in the studio, like, writing music, like, doing background vocals, like, with Shadi, MDs, Naji. Like, there's tons of people that people don't know that I actually, like, either used to write music with or, like, do little vocals and stuff on their music. So music was always, like, my first love, and that's how I started hanging around the Hill.
Right.
And, like, I always loved acting, too. So the whole thing, the Hill is actually how I started, like, professionally doing vlogs, because so I used to hang around there doing music. Shadi brought me around there doing music, and then I had started kind of doing vlogs kind of haphazardly on my webcam, and then I met two young men there who were also like a part of the Hill, and one of them was just like, hey, you ever thought about like recording like professionally? And then that's just how it started. Like, they gave me an opportunity and space, and like definitely shout outs to like Mr. Cartwright and Siobhan Patton and Stephen Hanna. Like, they were the first people to like give me a shot and say, hey, you look like you could be like a personality, like you could be in front of the camera. And that's how it all kind of really started, I would say. Yeah.
So, like I mentioned earlier, when I met you, you were on the Hill recording music as a singer. And then, you started to venture into doing the vlogging thing. Go back just a little bit to the acting.
Okay.
The acting, that first acting gig that you got, and that you remember, because there's probably a lot of those.
I mean, I feel like when you say gig, like, what do you mean?
Like, first time hitting the stage or first time acting in front of camera.
Honestly, I can't pinpoint that. I feel like, I don't know, with acting, it was so many like plays and stuff that I started doing, and I really can't pinpoint. I would say in front of camera, not so much acting, but my first time being in front of camera, aside from the vlogging, like as a host and personality, was definitely, again, because of the Hill, FanFest. Like that was my first time. Like Mr. C and Kat Billis, they gave me an opportunity like to do interviews. I don't think at that point I had never done it. So the first FanFest, Jesus, I must have been like 19 years old or something, like years back. And yeah, they gave me that opportunity, and that was like my first memory of like doing something more professional. In terms of acting, I'm like, Jesus Christ, I've been like plays at the wazoo, you know what I mean? Commercials, so it's kind of fuzzy to me like to really pinpoint and say. And then also, you know what it is, because to me, like, I'm very blessed. Yes, thank you, baby Jesus, for all I'm doing. But to me, I have not really even begun to do the things I really want to do. I feel like when I could say, oh my God, I'm on a Netflix series, then that's when I will say, oh my God, that's my first real gig. I feel like everything I'm doing is a warm up.
Right.
Like I'm just like warming up here in the Bahamas. Like I feel like there's so much more that I want to do and that I can do, and so that's probably why I'm just like what? Like there's nothing that I've done personally that I've gone like, oh my God, like I've made it, or I'm like, no. Every day is a hustle, every day is a grind, and you know, yeah.
So what gives you your energy? And I'm not just talking about your physical energy, but what gives you the energy to continue to push in what you do? Because I know it's not easy, especially around here. It ain't easy. And for you to always keep your personality up and you know, keep your energy going, something has to drive that.
Yeah. Well, you know, first I will say, like, you know, my personality isn't, well, behind closed doors, you know, you have some really like dark moments, and I've had some moments when I have gone dark, like we talked about when I said, oh, I'm quitting vlogging, and like it was really a difficult time for me because, you know, people say, oh, if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. I disagree with that. If you can make it in the Bahamas as an artist, if you can literally make money or get some kind of respect, you can make it anywhere, because this is the toughest place. One of the toughest places to say you're an artist or you're, you know, so it's not easy, and I do get discouraged. What keeps me going? Boy, sometimes I don't flicking know, because I'm like, Jesus, I too smart for this. I need to go be like a lawyer or something. But what keeps me going is honestly like passion. You know, to me, it's like breathing. If I stop doing art and entertainment, I feel like I may as well be dead.
Yeah.
Like it's just a part of me, and it's not something that I just feel so natural to me since I was a kid, like I keep saying, and so that's what keeps me going, and just that belief that it's all gonna work out in the end, and my belief in God keeps me going a lot, like my faith. And I feel like, you know, sometimes when I get discouraged, every now and then He'll like send me signs, but honestly, just my passion and my belief in God. And you know, if there are any artists or whoever out there who's thinking of getting into this field, honestly, my motivation is never gonna be people. Because if you're dependent on people to like pump you up or make you feel good, like you will quit for sure. Whether it's followers or fans, because humans are fickle. 1 second they love you, 1 second they saying Hosanna in the highest, and next second you on a flicking cross. So with me, even with how I interact with like people who enjoy my work, I appreciate it, but I try not to feed into positive comments or negative comments. You have to be really self-motivated, because if people will switch up on you, and even like your family and friends, like people don't always get what you're doing, and so I'm a really self-motivated person, I'm not gonna lie, and like I just have always had this passion, and I've always had this like dream in my head, and I'm kind of like, you know, a pot cake with a bone, like I'm not flicking letting go, like, so I'm kind of stubborn too. So that keeps me going. Like I said, my faith, I feel like God put me here for a purpose and a reason, and this is my purpose, and this is my passion, and I don't feel like God gives you gifts on air, you know, like just like it's for a reason. Yeah.
Okay, so now we're gonna talk about the vlogging and the vlogs, right? But before we do, we're gonna give our viewing audience just a glimpse of one of Tap's vlogs. We'll be right back.
Y'all don't get tired chatting about people who y'all have never literally interacted with? Like, you tired? Here's a pillow. Here's a pillow. Cause you need to lay down. You're tired. So I'm just popping in real quick for my opinionated ass opinion, cause I want to talk about something I kind of been picking up on a little bit, you know? A certain type of person, and I think a lot of y'all are gonna know what I mean. And the type of person I'm talking about, we're gonna call them Fanamies. You may be be saying top. What the flick is a fan of me? A person who is basically supposed to dislike, hate, heck, even detest a certain thing or a certain person, but for some reason they always up on this certain thing or person. They're always giving some kind of awareness or energy to this thing or person that they claim they cannot stand. They're supposed to be your enemy. They're supposed to not like you, yet they know all your movements. They're a fan-nemy. This is how to tell if you're a fan of me. Somehow, the same person or thing or brand or whatever you don't like, you find yourself checking their page, checking their Instagram stories every day. Newsflash! You do like them. I'm sorry to tell you. I know this is confusing for you right now. Take a breath. You're like, Top, but I don't like them. I know you're confused. This is hard for you to accept. If you do not like someone, why are you wasting your battery charge, your data, your exposure to radiation, your brain cells, your energy checking their social media page every week? What's the flicking point? Comment and tell me what the point is right now. And you know some of y'all guilty of it. Y'all just be right there. Let me go check the Instagram stories of the person I don't like. That's what she wear last week. That's why I can't stand her now. Must not double tap. This is the next way to tell if he's a high-key fan of me. This person, this brand, whatever, who you can't stop, spirit don't take two. You never had any interaction with them online or in person. Not even at least 1 to 2 interactions. You never had actual conversations with them, but you know, you swear on your dead grandma you used to make the best macaroni that this person stuck up. Bitch, that's like saying, I don't like ackee and saltfish, but they never tasted it. How you know you don't like it if you haven't tried it? You're just going based off of what you think ackee and saltfish is gonna taste like, and you're going off of what you think this person is going to be like. Stupid. Y'all don't get tired chatting about people who y'all have never literally interacted with? Like, you tired? Here's a pillow. Here's a pillow. Cause you need to lay down. You're tired. The next thing that people who are fan of me usually do, you follow this person, you know, you inside your little mind, you think, oh, this person's cool, they're fashionable, they dress good, they cool, they look pretty, they look well nice, all of that, you know? But the thought of giving them a compliment, whether it's on social media or in a real life, makes your genitalia itch or makes you want to chop off your own index finger. You will not type a nice compliment to that person. Ding, 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 ding. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a fan of me. Use a fan of me. Back to you, Bob. You gotta dig deep. Find the inner Oprah in you and seriously ask yourself, what does it take away from me to compliment another person? You gotta squash that inner cockroach inside of you that won't let you be a kind and loving person, that won't allow you to accept others being great, okay? But if you really don't with someone, that's fine. We kind of like everyone, but leave that person alone. But if you really do like someone, it's okay to give a compliment. But if you don't, make up your mind. Are you gonna be a fan of them or are you gonna be an enemy of them? But you can't be both. You can't. As always, guys, I want to know your opinionated ass opinion on this topic. If you have fan enemies out there and you know what I'm talking about, I need you to drop that caca emoji, because that's a bunch of bull caca. Either you like me or you don't, right? You know someone who acts like a fan of me and needs to see this video, tag them, okay? Don't be too shady, but tag them, tag a friend, and let me know, do you guys have fan enemies out there? What are some other traits of people who are low-key or high-key fan enemies? Do you think you're actually a fan of me yourself? Like, are you guilty? It's okay, girl. Let me know. Okay, let me know.
And we just took a look at one of those world famous Taps vlogs. Now we can talk about the vlogging. Like, can you remember like that very first one you did that like became popular?
Oh, well, everyone knows that one.
Gave you that drive to say, all right, here we go.
I think the first one that was like, oh snap, was when I did with Shaniqua the puppet. So it was this vlog that I did with a puppet, and my whole idea was to, like, you know, puppet is usually something associated with children and innocence, and I was like, well, I'm gonna take it and like make this puppet say some like adult stuff and like stuff that we're all thinking and we normally want to say, like a lot of political stuff at the time and scandals and stuff like that. And that, I think that was probably like the first, yeah, I think it was like the first like viral video that I got in the Bahamas, and it was like, oh, okay, this is nice. This is nice.
you did a few of those Shaniqua the puppet.
Yeah, we did. I did about 3 in total, and then I like got rid of her.
Yeah, because I think my favorite one, I think, is when I think you had like this boyfriend, and then like Shaniqua
Yeah.
slept with your boyfriend.
Friend, yeah, it was like a hot mess. A puppet. I got roach on my bread from a puppet.
So, you know, as you continued doing your vlogging series, you know, we see it went from having the character Shaniqua the puppet and all of that other stuff going on to you doing more personal, or what they call rants. You know, the opinionated videos. What inspired you to take that move with the vlogging?
Honestly, I feel like everything I do, I'm led a lot by my intuition. I honestly, I'm not gonna sit there and say like, oh, I sat down and calculated that. No, it's literally that, you know, as I evolved and I grew, like, this is what I want to do. Like, especially when people ask about Shaniqua, I'm just like, okay, I get you guys enjoyed it, but you have to realize I was like 19 years old, you know? Or maybe 18, like, fresh into COB. I still had braces, I think, yeah. So I was a little youngin' man, and you just evolve. So as I evolve naturally, like me as a woman and all of this, like, my content starts to change a little bit too. So, the opinionated vlogs and stuff, you know, it just became another extension of me, and I like kind of eased up on the skits. And then I will be going honest, a lot of it has to do with, you know, being an artist in this country is not easy. So when you consider it like financially, like doing those skits, it can be time consuming, and time is money, big pimpin'. So, and it takes more people to have involved, like, you know, whereas when I do my vlogs and stuff like that, I'm in control of everything. Like, I can film it myself, I can edit it, I don't have to worry about if this person coming late or they come on time or no. I'm gonna get my ish together always, and I'm always gonna go hard for my dream. So, it was just a natural evolution of me wanting to express myself as a personality, and just me being like an opinionated person and always having some kind of commentary or something to say.
Now, you just touched on a very important point. Being able to do things for yourself. I'm sure there are about 100 people watching this interview right now, right? They have something that they want to do, but in their mind, oh, I need a cameraman. Oh, I need a camera.
Yeah.
Oh, I need someone to edit this audio for me. Oh, I need someone to shoot this for me. I need someone to pick up my clothes. Please get that mind right before we move on.
So, you know, it's cliche, but you really have to walk before you run, and you have to crawl before you walk. And honestly, we're in the era where you shouldn't have no excuses, because we have the internet. And the internet is the single greatest tool. And I'm not just talking about people like me who into social media or vlogging, but like literally everything you want to know is on there for free, or you could get it like super cheap. I saw a meme that was saying you have journalists who have like degrees getting paid less for bloggers who just blog about it. And it's true. And my thing is, to me, that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing, because not everyone can go to college. Not everyone has the money. Not everyone has access. But you have your phone, you have your little $10 data plan, you have access to unlimited knowledge. You may not be able to go to school. Like, for me, when I started, I was always really pissed off that in the Bahamas, like, oh my God, there's no acting school for me to go to. I don't know how to develop myself. But I had to kind of get out of that, like, standing in victimhood, which is what a lot of us do. Like, and I'm guilty of it too. Like, oh, I'm on an island. Oh, nobody here knows me. And it's like, okay, yeah, have your little pity party, but then brush yourself off. Realize, don't look at like what don't you have, look at what is in your hand. And sometimes you may have resources, and sometimes it may be the greatest resources are people. Because when I started my vlogs, I didn't have no money to do that. Like, I was in UB, but I knew people and I had relationships with people, so I leveraged my relationships. Like, hey, you're my friend, we're hanging out at the studio, you want to do videos, I want to be in videos, let's do it together. So really, with the internet and your connections with people, you have no excuses. But I mean, most people ain't ready to hear that, because I think most people get so comfortable in this comfort zone, and you know, not everyone's gonna be a winner, and not everyone's gonna be able to make it. If everyone could, they would. But a lot of people do not have the tenacity. A lot of people are afraid, and then I think worse, a lot of people are inconsistent. You know, like, consistency is what's gonna pay off. So I feel like for anyone out there watching, like, you have no excuse. I'm sorry. If you want to be a personal trainer, I mean, God, there's a YouTube video for that. If you want to be a chef, same. If you want to be a hairstylist, same. I mean, literally everything's on there for free. And then you can't always, no one's gonna ride for your dream the way you are.
Yeah.
So don't expect, like, my whole thing is, like, have no expectations. Even me now, as long as I've been doing this, like, sometimes my videos and stuff don't get, like, the views I think they should get, or, like, whatever. And I just be like, you know what? No one owes you anything. So instead of getting bitter, get better.
Right.
Be undeniable. Like, be so good that they have to watch you. So if my videos ain't getting the views, then okay, look at me. But a lot of people won't do that. They'll say, oh, I need to be... No, I need to do something better. Either my quality needs to be better, my content, something. So don't expect people to ride for you. Like, you have to make people believe. You have to make people see that spark. And sometimes you have to start that journey alone. And you have to, like me, let me tell you, I hate editing. But I had to figure out how to do that because I didn't go to school for it. I had to pick that up from like Kat and like show me, and I still do. I am like the most basic editor ever, but I guess that is done. There's a video every week. Takes me hours, and these are things I never thought I would have to do. Like even like learn how to put on eyelashes because I know I gotta do TV interviews. I didn't do this, by the way. Shout outs to Gia, Glamour by Gia. But like when I can't always get a makeup artist, I had to figure out how to do these things myself. Like seriously, like. How do you present yourself to the world? Like, how do you, you're gonna have to figure out a lot of stuff by yourself because you're not gonna have that army and that team behind you like you want to. So, get to it.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. Now, you've been rocking with Alive.
Okay.
I was like so jealous, right? Because I was like, I'm a traveler. I like to travel. I like to jump on the plane and go places I've never been before, see things I've never seen, do things I've never done. Right. And then like, I looked in there, I saw Top's vlogs pop up, so I said, let me watch because these things interesting. Next thing I see, Top on the plane going to Bali, Indonesia, and I'm like, hold on now, what's going on here? And I'm not gonna lie, that was one of my favorite of your vlog series ever.
Thank you.
I watched
that.
every episode in its entirety. You know, and
Nice.
I like the part of the trip where y'all went to that place where the monkeys were. Like your expressions were like priceless. And then the other part that was funny to me is when y'all jumped in the bus and y'all left Norman. Norman got left somewhere.
Where
Y'all made a
go?
pit stop somewhere and Norman wasn't in the bus and y'all was about to like just leave him.
Oh my God! Yes, we were going from so like we were staying in the really like more community area in Bali, and we was going to the tourists. So I think we were going from Ubud to somewhere, and he went to use the bathroom, and the driver like left. And yeah, but Bali was a great time, and that monkey-ish, that I was scared. I was scared, like legit. But I'm the type of person, I will be so afraid, but I believe like still do it anyway, like just to say you did it, like to have that experience.
Yeah.
Like you gotta let fear change you down. But I was scared. I saw that monkey. Well, not that particular one, but those monkeys were like getting a little rough with people. So you have to remember they're wild animals.
Yeah.
And I'm black. I'm not about to be like you white people. Like they just all like the monkeys in their hair and stuff. No, sis, no.
So as a vlogger, like what was that experience like? Because as a vlogger to be able to travel and go that far and like be able to do your thing, vlog and capture every moment that you could. What was that like for you? What's that experience?
Honestly, it was a great experience, and I thank Alive for that so much for the duration of our like partnership together. It was a really great. I honestly like. When I thought last year, I didn't think like, oh, I'd be going to Bali. So it was a great experience. As a vlogger, it was great to switch it up and get content. Because I can tell you, as I evolve, my content changes.
Right.
And so I've moved away kind of from the skits and I do more like travel vlogs. And I still do my opinion stuff. So it was a great experience to take people with me and to explore. And I hope I can do like more things like that. Like, yeah.
Listen, Alive. I love you. I love you. I like to travel. I have cameras and
Give the
everything.
man a trip.
Yeah, man, give me a trip and let me do something. Let me live a life. Love you all though, and really appreciate that. Now, it's one more set of questions that I have to ask, and maybe you have never been asked this before, maybe you will never be asked this before.
Okay.
But as I scroll down my Facebook timeline,
Oh, Jesus.
and I see some of your posts, like sometimes I have to stop and I have to read.
Okay.
Because it's almost like you get to see the entertaining side of Top. You get to see Top as she vlogs, as she travels, but sometimes I get to see Top the activist.
Oh, okay.
You know, and even the most unpopular subjects that people don't want to touch, the most unpopular views that people may disagree with, you express it. So, why?
Actually, this is like no one's ever really asked me about this. So, okay. So like I told you, when I was younger, I always just knew like, oh, I want to be on TV. I want to be, you know, I love entertaining people. I love connecting. And looking back, like I would never think like, oh, I would be like an activist or like this feminist or this person that speaks up for issues. But again, I think it was a natural progression, and I realized, okay, you know, two words you hear people throw out a lot: passion and purpose, right? And I realized over some time, I feel like in the last 2 to 3 years, that although my passion is entertaining and being out there, you know, there's always a greater purpose. And I feel like I've kind of realized that when you have a platform and God allows you to have that, you know, be able to speak, you need to use that for good. And I know a lot of people would run away from that and say like, oh, I'm not a role model, whatever. I'm not trying to be a role model per se, but I feel speak for those who cannot speak for themselves, especially as a woman in this country. I feel like, and honestly, just even a woman, first of all, being a black woman in the world, being a woman in this country, and then being a woman in media, because you know, there ain't a lot of us. Like when I used to be at the Hill, there's probably only one other girl that used to be there, and she was a singer. Like, yeah, like there was all guys, always, whether it's the technical side or the talent side. Even in vlogs now, like there's not a lot of Bahamian female vloggers. There's not a lot of Bahamian female, you know, cameramen. So I'm always in these very male-dominated environments, and I know how that can be as a woman. And so I feel I started to realize that, like, listen, like you have a platform, use your voice for good. And one thing about me now, I mean, you know, the Lord knows why He chose me. My body no deep freeze, and I've never been afraid. Like I tell people, like the only person I fear is God, literally. I'm not afraid of anyone, because God has me covered, and no weapon, hallelujah,
Glory.
shut up, formed against me shall prosper.
On the church.
But I'm literally like, and people used to be like, oh, you shouldn't say, like, especially, like, I used to work for government, right? I used to work in the Ministry of Tourism, and people would be like, oh, you know, you work there, you should. No. We live in a democracy, right? Like, Bahamians and people in general need to stop being afraid, because the only way we're going to progress is if people step forward, they tell their stories, they share their truth, and they do that consistently. So I'm not afraid to be that person, although sometimes, you know, when you are that person, especially as a woman, I mean, I don't know if you would, well, you can't really because you're a woman, but sometimes people think as women, like, we're overreacting when we talk about, like, the type of discrimination we go through, like, you know, and sometimes in these little ways that can really demean you. But, like, being a woman and moving in this country, especially being an opinionated woman, like, it's not easy. And people will try to intimidate you, and people will try to paint a picture of you, and people will try to do things to kind of threaten you or threaten your bag, because again, like, you know, you're talking about politics, you're talking about this, you're talking about rapists, and then you never know who related to who, and people can't separate. Listen, I'm not attacking you personally. I'm attacking the bull caca you doing, and I'm saying, listen, don't hate you, but what you're doing is messed up, and someone has to say it. So I never thought I'd be like activist or whatever, but I just think me naturally as a person, I'm opinionated, and I've started to be more conscious of the fact that, like, women in particular in my country need a safe space, and they need to feel like someone's cheering for them, not just behind closed doors, like in the forefront. Yeah.
Do females ever like approach you about the stuff you?
Oh yes, all the time. Like, especially it goes down in my DMs like a lot. Like one time I was talking about, what were we talking about? Oh, so a public figure had made a statement about basically perpetuating rape culture and saying that if women didn't dress a certain way, then men wouldn't act a certain way.
I remember that.
And of course, you know, I was pissed the flick off at that.
I saw the post.
And so I went, like, you know, on my little tirade, and one of my key things was like, what men in this country need to understand is, like, it's very rapey, culture-y. Rape has nothing to do with the way a person is dressed. Rape isn't even about sex, because let's be real, you can buy sex.
Okay.
Rape is about control and someone being sick and wanting to dominate someone and control someone. Anyway, I say all this to say in my like Instagram stories and stuff when I was talking about it, I was saying, you know, being assaulted or made uncomfortable as a Bahamian woman is something that happens to me in primary school. And so I started talking about my experiences walking from C.C. Sweeney Jr., me being in a long flicking skirt, because you know government school, you wearing these long, and men still having stuff to say to me. And so when I started to open up that conversation, a lot of women messaged me, some people with some personal stuff talking about things that went down in their family, being molested by family members, being made to feel dirty at a very young age because of men hitting on them. So I do get a lot of love from the ladies. And ladies, I love y'all back. Like, I'm here for the ladies. Like, a lot of men will say, like, oh, you're a man basher. And I'm like, listen, I don't care about your male tears. I will drink them, okay, in my coffee. Tastes so good. I'm not a man basher, but if uplifting women and going hard for women makes me a male basher, then so be it. Like, men have their platform, they have their leaders, they have their, like, why am I gonna be concerned? Like, I'm a woman, like, what do you expect me to be concerned about? So a lot of women actually do inbox me when I talk about things and say, you know what, I feel the same way. And then, like, some people will come up to me, and so it's nice to know that it's affecting someone positively. That's a good thing, I think. Yeah.
I'm guessing, ladies, that because you were DMing her on, you know, such a sensitive subject, that her responses to you are very nice and favorable. Because, you know, I DM'd her on some business, and she was like, listen, I have a professional email.
Yeah,
you can reach me
but let me
up.
tell y'all something. Let me make something abundantly clear. First of all, first point. You know, I saw this person, like, the same thing, you know, how to keep happy. And first of all, just because I'm a personality or a program, I'm not going to be happy all the time. I'm not going to be in a good mood all the time. Do you get in bad moods? Oh, well, mind blown. I get in bad moods too. Second of all, if you're messaging me professionally, my email is posted everywhere. Don't come in the DMs or whatever. Not saying people do hit me up or whatever, but there's an email for that. And I don't always get my DMs. Now, you know, Instagram is behind some of these messages, so I get these things late. That's the next fucking thing I had. Point number 2, people always think because you're in social media, or if you don't answer them right away, you're ignoring them. Negroes, I got things to do. This phone isn't like attached to my hand. Like, we think like people have instant access. Like, you're supposed to have instant access to tap all the time. No, I have a life. I have things to do, places to go, people to see. Okay, like. So I'm here, right? I'm here.
I wasn't imagining. I was just trying to.
But don't make it seem like I disgusted because I didn't answer your DM. I went to answer it, and then I know you. That's why I could have talked to you like that.
Exactly.
Okay.
You see, what they say, familiarity break it up. Get there and up.
I didn't talk to you like that because I was like, I know him and he should know better. I'm like, dude, email me, because people like be coming to nerves.
I ain't telling you lie, right? I can sound crazy, but I don't even remember seeing that email thread until you gave it to me. I ain't gonna lie. I serious.
Well,
I see him now, but
it don't matter. We here. We in here, so it don't matter.
So,
it don't matter.
Since we here, we gotta put top in the hot seat.
Oh, wow.
Because we're gonna play the world famous live and direct top 6.
Oh gosh, I don't know what's happening right now.
So you gonna find out. You gonna learn today.
Oh
What I need for you to do.
God. Okay.
I know that you have a love for music.
Okay.
And so what I need for you to do is, I need for you, Top, to name for me your top 6 favorite artists of all time. But 3 of them have to be Bahamian artists.
Jesus,
so Bahamian artists,
Henry Christ.
Pay close attention to see if your name makes top list.
Actually, this isn't hard on the Bahamian front. I'm not even gonna lie.
Let's go.
But the other international artists, that's really hard of all time. Mm-hmm. I don't want to say all time. That sounds so like final. That sounds.
Okay, your top 6 favorite artists up to today.
Up to today, good. I'm a Gemini, so I don't like commitment. So that makes me feel more comfortable. Bahamian, I can start this easy. Wendy.
Wow.
Now, of course, I'll know Wendy's my friend. That's not why I'm saying it, because before I knew Wendy as a friend, I used to see her at the Hill too. And like I thought Wendy didn't even like me. Like there's this whole story about how we met, but I've always thought Wendy's super talented, very versatile. Like I don't think there's any other Bahamian female artist in her lane. Like I feel like she's our Beyonce. Like her performance level is like the looks, the sound, and then you know she does R&B, and she does like the soca thing. So
you know what they call her and Dyson together? I call them together the most dangerous couple in the entertainment
they are bomb.
industry here.
They are
because
bomb.
when they hit the stage, it's just pure
the energy, exactly.
Pure
And I
energy.
haven't really seen that in a long time from like Bahamian artists. So I literally, you know, like some people are your friends, so you kind of like have to support them. But I actually like her music. I bought it on iTunes. I like listen to her music actively. So it's not like, oh, you're my friend. It's like, oh wow, my friend is the ish. Damn. So Wendy is definitely up there for me. Oh, this is hard. There's so many. And then you mean like even the ones who did? Like top Bahamian?
Even if they
Oh, I can't do that. Oh, this is making me feel kind of flustered. Wow. That's hard.
Is it?
It is. Damn. It's too hot. I don't know. Wow. I only can pick 3. Why can't I pick 6 Bahamians and 6 non-Bahamians?
I think the top 6 world.
Oh God. Okay, so I said Wendy. This is too hard. I can't do it. Like so many people rush into my head. Oh my God, this is like really hard. You know what? I'm gonna say Ronnie Butler, and not just to because but actually. I've always loved his voice. There's this cover that he did that made me fall in love with him. Echoes in my mind. And that's when I realized like this man is the bomb. Cause like honestly, growing up, I was just like, I didn't even like Bahamian music growing up. Like, I'll let Ray consider whatever. It's different now. I have an appreciation. But growing up, I really did not pay attention to Ronnie Butler. But like when I heard that song, like Yours, I was like, wow, he can actually like his voice was really like something special. So. Instantly, when I think of my favorite Bahamian artist, I think of my favorite Bahamian songs, and that's actually one of my favorite songs. Even though it's a cover that he did, like I really love that song. So Wendy, Ronnie, and then I'm gonna do a rapper because I do love hip hop, and even doing this is really hard. Make sure I can't like add some more people. This is really hard. Like actually, there's a lot of Bahamian rappers that I actually like.
Name one of them.
Name one? Okay, well, I'll just name someone right now. You know what? Because this list isn't finite, but Foots.
And I figured Foot's name was.
I love Foots. I'm sorry.
Foots, you're doing the thing.
Foots,
Finally.
I like Foots because Foots, I just love the tone of his voice, like rapping and his lyrics. He's really good, honestly. Like,
Yes.
And the quality he's putting out now is really, really good. So he's really one of my top, I would say 4 Bahamian rappers. Oh, but you know see, after I said that, I realized, you know who else I love? I'm sorry, Judah the Lion.
Yeah, Judah.
I freaking love Judah.
Judah could have made that list easily.
Easily, I forget him, but like Judah because he's so versatile. He can rap, he can sing, like, and not play sing, like he can sing. So I know you only said 3, but I'm sorry I had to put you.
let's go on the international side.
International. Jeez, it's so many people out there. I love Stevie Wonder a lot. I grew up listening to Stevie Wonder because of my dad. He has this whole 6-disc collection. Stevie Wonder's the truth. I love him. And I hope one day I could go to one of his concerts. I really love him.
I'm trying to get there too.
Yeah, we need to see him though. He's gonna get a little old. So,
yeah. And vlog about it.
Stevie Wonder to me is one of the most amazing artists. Honestly, I would say Rihanna. I know a lot of people try to like shade Rihanna, you know, but I feel like being an artist is more than just about like hitting high octave notes. Like, I love what she stands for. I feel like as a Caribbean woman to get this far, I don't think people realize how incredible it is. And being a black woman that's not ashamed of her blackness or her heritage. And I love what she's done for women. I feel like she's empowered women a lot to like feel good about themselves and to feel free, and then like the whole thing she went through and like to bounce back, like I really like love Rihanna actually, and I think we need to be friends in my head, like in real life. Well, we're already friends in my head. Like, I just love what she embodies, like the power and like sex appeal and the fearlessness and the, you know, the little rudeness. Like, I love it. Damn, there's so many artists I love.
Yeah, one more.
You know how many great artists there are? This seems, I can name so many people that I love.
I know, but you only get to name 6.
You know what? I'm gonna do one more for the Caribbean and say Chronixx.
Alright.
I love Chronixx. Actually, I'm a bit obsessed with him right now. Like, actually, I'm gonna go to Jamaica and hunt him down. Although he doesn't really seem to live in Jamaica, but like, you know, they're calling him like the new Bob Marley and all this. And because even Bob Marley could have been on that list. But I love Chronixx. His album, which is like his first real album, Chronology, is like, that's one album I don't skip. I don't skip any song. And it's, of course, like a lot of good messaging, like black power and positivity, and it's just music that makes you feel good. So I respect Chronixx. And I guess that's what you leave me with. There's so many other people I could list. Like,
Hey, you know,
I'm really bummed.
The thing about this particular top 6 is that usually when I ask my guests this question, they would call off the top 6, they would name the top 6, and then it would just be like names. But like, you actually like broke that ish.
Oh yeah. Oh, I thought that was the whole point.
And like, you just broke, and I didn't have to ask you or say anything, so that was dope. Now,
Look, guys, I talk for a living.
we about to wrap it up, right? And you've dropped some gems in this interview that I know that the listeners can appreciate. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to let you leave your last words of encouragement for all the young people watching, because you know we got to build these youth up
Yeah.
and encourage them to do positive things with their lives. And so I'm going to let you do that, and I'm going to let you do your shout outs, and then we can get up out of here.
What I would say, young people of the Bahamas, seriously, young people of the Bahamas out there, things are really sucky right now. Like, let's not beat around the bush. Things are hard, and people don't want to admit things are hard. You know, the older generation, they want to tell you, oh, back in my day, I had a house at 25. Well, you know what? You guys ruined the housing market and the economy, and us millennials now have to pick up the pieces. But anyway, things aren't easy, right? But you have to look at yourself and say, what is in my hand? Even though things aren't easy right now, there's always a possibility. And there's always hope that something could change. And like, as long as you're alive, something could change, you know? Like, there's sometimes I really like, you know, I'm a happy person, but I can go dark, like, you know. And I feel like as long as you're living, as long as you have breath in your body, you could wake up one morning and get that call. Or get, you know, that someone has an opportunity for you. So don't give up. It's gonna get tough. It's gonna get lonely, and that sucks. But if you have a passion, you have to keep fighting for it. And then what I also want to say is to encourage people to collaborate, not compete. I feel that we don't do that enough here in my field, like in media and blogging. Like, I look at persons abroad who I follow, like, you know, Jess with the Mess and Lala and all these people, and I notice they're always collaborating with one another, and I'm like, do you really see a lot of Bahamian bloggers doing videos together? Bloggers, singers, artists, you know, and not just people in media. Like, you may have something you're passionate about, but knowledge is power, and sharing knowledge with someone doesn't strip you of your power. Like, you ever notice when you're lighting, like, you know, your birthday cake, so you light one candle, you take that candle and you light all the other ones, but that one that you started with doesn't go out. So you sharing your knowledge with someone isn't going to take anything from you. And I think we need to understand that as a people. we have to collaborate. We have to pool our resources, whether they be money or, you know, just information. Bahamians don't do that enough. And like I say, it's not just people in media, but like in business. How many Bahamians you see coming together, like start businesses, or like we don't do it? It's so weird. Like colonialism did a good number on us. Massa did a good job on making us hate one another, feel threatened by one another. I mean, even the Caribbean, like you look at how hateful Bahamians are, not everyone, but generally speaking, to Haitians or Jamaicans. And it's like, at the end of the day, if something terrible goes down in the world, like, I'm sorry, the Caribbean is going to be the last thing on America's mind, or Europe, like, you know, and we have these shared histories, and so we don't collaborate enough. Everyone thinks you have to compete. I'm not saying you don't have like a excellent spirit or a competitive spirit, because I'm very competitive, but I compete with myself. I judge myself very hard, and I look and see, okay, you know, you need to do this better, like, but we need to come together. Bahamian people, Caribbean people, we do not collaborate enough, and that's what's killing us. You think holding on to your resources, your knowledge, or how to do this or how to do that, it's helping you, but it's actually killing you. And so my biggest thing would be to encourage people to, like, let's start working together. And it always don't have to be on a money tip, you know what I mean? And mind you, as a girl, I like to get my bag, but we need to be a little bit more open to working with one another, like seeing that we're like both like black young people, like, you know, like, yeah, stick it to corporate, yeah, take their money, but like us, like, you know, like, let's work together. And that is what I would say to everyone. And, you know, pulling someone down, it don't help you to look no better. Like, we have to stop doing that and look at the bigger picture. I remember that love always wins, you know what I mean? Like, the negativity and all that is not gonna help you. Like, love people, forgive people, and make sure you follow me on social media, because I'm about to do some big bleep, bleep, bleep stuff. I have to bleep myself because I know this is going on TV. Yeah, I can't curse around the children. But I'm about to do some big stuff. I'm excited, and, you know, I would encourage all the artists out there, keep pushing, because I know it gets hard. Keep pushing, try to work with one another. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much to everyone who supports me, who DMs me, who comments.